I know you guys haven't seen a video from me on the channel in probably like 4 or 5 days. And the main reason for that is I wanted to be consistent with Evo 8 uploads. We dropped the block and the crank off at the machine shop for the Evo 8, let's see, last Monday, so a week and a half ago. It was supposed to be done that Wednesday, so it's supposed to be done 8 days ago, and it's still not done. I'm hoping it'll be done later today, but I know I just need to get some content up on the channel for you guys. And I want it to be Evo 8 related, and there's always been one thing that I've been wanting to do on that car for a very long time. Probably for like 3 months now, but I know you guys want to see this car back up and running, and hopefully it is within the next 3 or 4 days. All depends on when we get that block and crank back. But yeah, as soon as we get it back, we should be able to bust this thing out and get it back on the road. Damn, she does look pretty though. I love this car. Now I have been filming a few other videos in the meantime while we are waiting on the crank and block to get back, but they're not related to the Evo 8, so I don't want to like mix all that stuff up. I know it may not make sense, and I know that's not how a lot of other YouTubers do it, but I want to be consistent with one project, one vehicle, get it done, and then move on to the next project. So let's bust out some stuff and let me show you what exactly we are doing today. So here are all the parts laying around for the Evo 8. We have some bottom end stuff right there, oil pan, oil pump, all that good stuff. The valve cover, head is right here, fully assembled, rebuilt, good to go. Turbo, reassembled, rebuilt, also good to go. So what I want to do today is this. Wait, where's the intake at? I know I have an intake laying around somewhere. It might be in the trunk. My custom homemade intake. So it was like 3 or probably 4 months ago, we installed all this ETS short route intercooler piping onto the Evo 8, and the whole engine bay of that car is blue and black, and then this piping just looked out of place. Today we're going to be doing a color I've never done before, or a, how would you call it? Not necessarily a color, but this is called Splatter Black by Prismatic Powders. It should be a pretty nice wrinkle black, not super flat, not super glossy, somewhere in between is what I'm hoping for, but a nice wrinkle black finish is what I'm after today. Pretty much the last thing that we need to do, that we can do, other than build the motor for the car. And hopefully we can get started on that tomorrow. I'm gonna keep bugging the machine shop all day today because they're a week freaking late. We got to go through, run through, pull off all these couplers. We got to pull off the tile BOV, pull off this intake air temp sensor, and get everything sandblasted, and we should be able to move on to powder coating. I don't know how this is gonna go. I've never done a splatter or wrinkle color before, or wrinkle powder coat before, or even a paint. So I don't know if we have to set up the gun any differently. I don't really know. All I know is right now we need to get to work, get some stuff sandblasted, and as soon as we get all this piping done, powder coated, there's one other little thing that we can do as well that I just remembered. I went ahead and ran all the parts through the sandblaster. That took about 15 or 20 minutes. It's gonna be a much better surface to powder coat over versus the, I don't know if it was anodized clear or if it's powder coated, painted clear, some sort of clear coat over like the raw steel. So yeah, sandblasting is always the way to go when powder coating. Let's get these things all cleaned up and our handy little sink over there. We can bust out the powder coating oven and get these things sprayed out. All right, so we have the oven preheating at 400 degrees. I hope it still works because I know one of the elements is burnt out. This one right here, this is the top one. The bottom one still works. So let's hope we can still get some stuff properly powder coated. It has been a minute since I powder coated any piping. I'm kind of trying to figure out how to hang it all. This one should be easy. We can just hang it through that. But these other pipes, we might just have to run a wire all the way through the pipe and then attach it to like the oven rack. We could put a little bolt with like a nut on the back side and kind of clamp the bolt down, but then there'll be a little part right here where we don't get any powder coat on, which would be okay because it'd be under the coupler, but at the same time, I want these pipes to be 100% perfect. All right, so we've had this first pipe in here for about 10 minutes at 400 degrees just to get it nice and warm. I think this oven's gonna work just fine with only one heater element. The main reason I haven't replaced it yet is because I don't even know what model element that is. I've looked online, I can't find one that's like the same shape or design. So if anyone's an oven expert, that's what it looks like. And I think this is a GE oven. I don't know. It doesn't, I don't even know if it says. I don't know what kind of oven this is, but yeah, we should probably just replace the whole oven. Let's pull that thing out and get it sprayed out. As you can see, we already have the whole powder coat gun set up. Super easy to set up: air, power, ground, and powder. So it looks like we got full coverage on the intake pipe. As you guys saw at the end, I took that ground clip off. So that's how the powder is actually attracted to the part through the ground. As you're spraying the gun, you hold down this right here and it grounds and it attracts all the powder to stick onto the pipe. But we took the clip off at the end and just sprayed some powder on it. If the intake pipe is still warm, it should stick enough even without that ground on there. Let's go ahead and get this intake pipe back in the oven and see how it looks when she flows out. powder usually cures at about, I would say 12 to 15 minutes is I think the longest I've ever seen powder coat go in the oven for, or powder coated part. Splatter black goes in for 20 minutes at 400 degrees, and that's after the part itself reaches 400 degrees. So all in all, it'll probably be in there. Each piece will probably be in the oven for about 25 minutes. So what we're gonna do is, it's already been in there for 2 or 3 minutes. As soon as the part reaches close to 400 degrees, I'm not super like picky with this, but close to 400 degrees with this infrared thermometer, we'll start the timer for 20 minutes. As soon as this pipe comes out, I'm gonna let it cool down and make sure it's the proper gloss and all that we're actually going for. And if it is, we can bang out all of the intercooler piping. We got the first part out of the oven, and the next intercooler piping is in. Now I know stuff changes gloss levels and changes color as it cools down, but if it could just stay like that, that is absolutely perfect. That's exactly what I am after. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of wrinkle blacks on anything except for intercooler piping, and maybe valve cover sometimes can pull it off if like other stuff is done as well. But I think intercooler piping and intake pipes always look really, really good in wrinkle black, or if it's a Subaru, like maybe on Bobby's STI, we'll do wrinkle red to kind of match the intake manifold. Let's bust out all of this intercooler piping, and yeah, that's like one of the main things I really wanted to get done today. Tired girl. Figure out what I powder coated so far. And see if you think it's cool.
I'm not really seeing anything. What was it? This was hidden behind everything, baby.
Does it look kind of strange with a wrinkle black?
No.
Pretty sweet? You dig it? You want to do your piping? So you know how your inner or your intake manifold, the red thing in your car is like red but wrinkly like that? Yeah, we should do that on your car, but the rest of it red as well. Like when we do maybe like a front mount, we could do like the intercooler piping, like wrinkle red.
Wrinkle red?
Yeah.
Is this like a...
This says wrinkle black, as you can tell. That's definitely not wrinkle red.
Yeah, I dig it.
Thanks.
Who's that?
Hold.
Miserable. I've already heard that.
All right, guys, we got 2 pipes done here. One of the pipes just came out of the oven, so that's cooling off. And we have the last pipe in the oven right now. If you guys are looking for a really nice wrinkle black, I'll have this linked down in the description box below. Huge shout out to Prismatic Powders for sending over this powder for today's episode. While this last pipe is still in the oven, we have one last thing to fix on the Evo 8 before we start building the motor. So as you can see, the CV axle boot is completely torn. This thing has been fleeing grease on the Evo 8 for the longest time. And obviously it's finally time to go ahead and swap out this boot. So it's pretty easy to do. There's a big clamp right there, which will be in this bag here. A small clamp on that end, which is that small clamp there. Obviously we have the boot here and a grease bag as well. So if you guys want to pick up this exact boot kit for the inner CV axle on Evo 8 or Evo 9. I'll have it linked down below. This is the part number. We are gonna have to pull off this end right here. There is a circlip, so we're just gonna pop that circlip off. This little hub is gonna slide off, and then we could slide off the old boot after we get the clamp off, get on the new boot, grease it, and put on the end of the CV axle. So here is how everything turned out. All the intercooler piping and the intake right there all turned out absolutely amazing. Check out that wrinkle black. That looks so damn good. And of course you got the CV axle done as well. So I just got off the phone with the machine shop. They said the parts are gonna be done here soon. So I'm gonna head in right now, and hopefully by the time they get there, all the parts are finished up. So the block and the crank. Finally got the check engine light in this car fixed. We just had to re-flash the access port again with the same tune. It's kind of weird, but it fixed the issue. There was 2 coats on, and now they're both gone. They've been off for, I think, a day now. So yeah, we should be good to go in this car. Never mind then.
We can if you want, but it's somebody.
It's flat. It's flat. So we finally got the block and crank back. Took over a week longer than we expected, which I'm not really sure why, but it's all good. We got it back, so hopefully bright and early tomorrow, or maybe even later tonight, we can get started on this motor assembly. I'm just glad to have it back in my hands, because when I'm not working on it, it's out of my control how long it takes, but now that we have it back, it's out of my control how fast we get this motor back together.